why do we do games in the classroom before we even model the game. So our plan for tonight, giving you a heads up, is we did want to talk to you about why we value games so much in the classroom, why we think they're so important for building confidence and building your skills. And then we are going to demonstrate a couple quick games, and then all the teachers have taken on different games that we would like to play with you, and you can kind of decide on which game you'd like to do. One of the things that I have found overall, I've been teaching for a very, very, very long time, and I grew up playing games. I grew up in Chicago, and there's cold winters, so we play games. That's what we did in the winters. You played games. And games are so important. Get up here, Kristen. So for me, I see games as so important because it allows everyone to enter in where they are, and you're doing something for a purpose. I find that our standard education is more performance-based. You're given sheets and you're supposed to regurgitate and show where you are, and everybody is meant to be at a certain level. And you're judged on where you are within a predetermined level. And what games allow you to do is, what I love about most is it's all the negotiation and it's rule making. And I even say to the kids, well, this is the way they say to play the game, but you guys can decide how you want to play the game. Decide yourself. And that's the wealth of it, is they have to negotiate constantly. And that takes so much more brain use for you to negotiate games. You have to learn how to do communication, how to do compromise, how to decenter. They're using language constantly, and they're able to practice their skills. And it's fun. A good game engages all of us. It doesn't matter what your age is. For holidays are a big time for games. So I was in Kansas for Thanksgiving, and it was primarily adults, and it was we only had one child there, a 5-year-old nephew, and we were playing games for hours, and all of us, we were laughing and having the best time, and they were card games. We were mostly just playing different card games. And it allows us all to be together, and all of us were being challenged in different ways to play those games. There was not that differentiation between, oh, you're an adult and you're really accomplished and skilled at things, and I'm a child and I don't know as much. Game takes that away. And that's what's called an equal playing field for me.
They have such motivation.
Yes.
Sometimes that 5-year-old really wanted to spend time with you guys and be a part of.
Right.
So maybe they, aren't great at number recognition or something, but how quickly they figure it out because they have that motivation, the drive to want to be a part of the game.
He beat us all at BS. It's a great card game if you ever played BS. It's a great card game. It can go on for very long, and he beat all of us. And with games, I don't change the way I play a game when I play with a child. Children can tell when you're playing to a younger level. I think it's actually not respectful of a child when you do that. I really feel that if you're playing a game, you're trying to teach them something. You can give them pointers about it while you're playing along, but I don't believe in trying to play down to a child and, oh, I'm not going to skip them in checkers. I don't believe that's really being respectful to them. Anything else you wanted to know about that? What I love about it is the fact that you can practice skills. When I was in Beth's class the other day, I've been teaching for 35 years. So I did this activity with them on the Unifix cubes. What are the different ways you can come up to 10 using 2 different colors of Unifix cubes? And that came back to my, I believe so strongly in, just learn those numbers that make 10. You learn those, it's all, everything about friendly numbers. But it wasn't a game we were playing. And what's different is that the game, you're invested in it. Each person is having an enjoyable time. And what I was doing the Unifix cubes isn't the same type of play as it is even when we're doing a card game and I'm asking them to make 10 with all different equations. That's different. you're using so many different aspects of your brain when you're doing that. Do we have some cards around here? One of the games that I always love playing with kids, is you put down, I know you guys can't see these cards probably, but you put down 5 cards. I have 9, 8, 7, 2, 9. And you can either do it with, well, what are the different ways using any math strand you want. You could use addition. So one of the things when I'm playing with kids is I always say, well, we could do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I'll say that the child if they're 5 years old. I'm not going to say, well, you just do addition, subtraction. I want them to know those words, and they all get very hung up on multiplication and division. I was talking with the first, second graders the other day, asking them, well, what is it you want to work on in your math? They're all saying, oh, I want to know how to do division. I'm like, well, you guys are doing it all the time. You share things, you're dividing. I want to do multiplication. Well, all it is, adding a number a couple times. So it's important for us to use those words so that they understand, demystify it. So in here, they're trying to come up with different ways to make 10. So does anyone want to take, and you can use as many cards. So does anyone want to try to do them? And what I love about it is I like games where there's more than one answer.
Can you write down numbers on the board?
Yeah, I'll write them on the board while you're doing it. That does help. So who wants to throw out some ways to do 10? Philip, thank you.
Said 9, 8, 7, 2.
Yeah.
So 7 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 4.
7 plus 8.
Well, 8 divided by 2.
Oh, but we don't, okay, 8 divided by 2 is 4.
Oh,
Okay,
there.
keep
And
going.
then minus 9 divided by 9.
Minus 9 divided by 9 is 1. So I'm sorry, I have to, oh wait, no, yeah, so if you're gonna write what he's saying.
Yep.
So can you go back? You said 8 divided by 2 is
Which
4. Okay. This, Noelle.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing these games with her last year, and she used to love to come up with as many different equations because it becomes that challenge that you're challenging yourself. So
Was it
8 divided by
9?
2, and then what I would do with the children is I would write 4 underneath there, so they all get to see it. 4, okay, and then you said 9 divided by 9?
Or plus 7. So
Oh, plus 7.
up to 11, and then minus 9 divided
Minus 9 divided by 9.
Ooh, if I do the parentheses, does that equal the same?
It's 1. Okay, and then I would even, down here I'd show 4 plus 7 is 11, minus 1 is 10. Jay would often come into the math class while we were doing this, and no matter what the math activity is, because they were always something like this, Jay would get very engaged in what we were doing. He was determined to find more and more ways. I finally looked up that one on 39, and it's not possible. On that one game we were playing,
Give to Philip. Give to Philip. I'm
did
going to
Philip
challenge
find
him.
it?
No, I'm going to give to him. Challenge him.
Well, I found out that one.
Challenge them with an impossible
Okay, so obviously 8 plus 2 is the easiest one to do. 8 plus, yeah. But there are so many here. I mean, I'm looking at this, just 9 take away 7 is 2, and then you could do that plus 8. Let me see, 7 times 2 is 14, so then you just have to take away 4. How can we do that? We can't do that. So and then with older kids, so with more of the younger kids, I was doing it on 10, just because I'm really big on getting them 10 in there. And then on older kids, what we would do is we would just come up with a number,
Target number.
such as a target number we call it. So maybe the target number is 47, and then we would put down 5 different cards, and they come up with a way to make 47. It's the same idea. But what's fun is that everybody's engaged. I mean, all of us are challenged to do it. And that's what best thing you could do is just keep a deck of cards around and keep dice around in your house. So that's an easy one to play for that. And then it's just so open-ended. The dice games, And I live downtown, just down the street from the Ravens, so you have to play a couple dice games. So, because your kids will come home with these games. We play this one a lot also. It's just 1, 4, 24. There's so much you could do with dice. So with 1, 4, 24, you have 6 dice. You roll the dice, and you have to have a 1 and a 4, and then you're trying to get 4 6s. So, and you have to take 1 dice each time that you keep. So I'm going to take my 1 right away, and I have a 6. I want to keep that, and I get to re-roll. Each time you have to keep 1. I'm going to keep my 5. I'm gonna keep my 5. Keep my 6. And I'll be safe, and I'll keep a 5 again. So then you get to add up. Oh,
But you
I
didn't
forgot to
keep
write 4.
4.
Yeah. So you're supposed to, you have to have a 1 and 4 in order to qualify at the end to add up the rest of your numbers. But these are great games. They're adding and using numbers for a purpose. So much better than giving them any worksheet. We've had parents that ask us all the time, well, when are they going to do, equations? I'm like, there's lots of teaching stores. Go out to your dollar store, get those worksheets if you want. But all you're doing there is you're not having them think. It's really just filling in a blank. Here they're doing something you're using numbers for a purpose. That's why we have numbers in our life. This is what you're going to use numbers for in the real world. We use the things we learn for a real purpose. And when you think about yourself as a learner, I think about Barb the other day. We had all these mandarins, and we're figuring out what the heck are we going to do. We have 20 pounds of mandarins here. And Barb doesn't like to cook, but Barb cooks all the time at school. And so we made homemade mandarin marmalade. But it was fun because we're doing something for a purpose, we're experimenting with it, and we're learning through the process. And I feel that every day we should be having a new experience in our life, and we should all be learning something new each day. I have this thing that I do each night where I journal at the end of the night, which is about, there's a couple of things I journal about, but one is, what was my new experience and what did I learn today as an individual?
Paul do?
And what did Paul do to screw up today? So we have file cabinets full of curriculum ideas, and the majority of them are all game-based with cards and dice. So what we want to do today is really focus on some of the games that we would recommend that you look into for Christmas and for Hanukkah and for whatever the holiday is that you might be going through doing. So we are going to break up into groups and see what games you would like to play, and you can move around. One of the games that I'm not sure how many of you know how to do it is spoons. It's a very, where's the deck of cards? So spoons is the game that we used to mostly play when we would go out to dinner. We would just play spoons in a restaurant. It's very simple. Everybody gets 4 cards, and you put down spoons. They're 1 less than the number of people you have, and each person is just trying to get 4 cards. They're all the same. 4 kings, 4 eights, and you're quickly passing the cards around. And once someone gets their 4 cards, then they just kind of discreetly take out a spoon. Well, it was fun about playing it with kids until they get that discreet part. There was some child we were playing with recently, like, spoon! And grab it. And it's
one
fun.
less spoon than there are a number of people playing.
1
Yeah.
less,
Yes.
right. Yeah. And then you just keep playing and playing. Even though you have your 4 cards, you just keep picking up, passing, until the person who didn't get a spoon finally notices it. But it is for younger children. It's number recognition. And then in language arts, we have word cards that we do the same thing with spoons. So we have word cards that have, maybe it's a dog. I have 2 different pictures of dogs. They'll have dog in uppercase and dog in lowercase, and we have all different levels. I think we have 5 different levels of that game. They're cards that we've printed out and made over the years. And it's the same idea, but the kids never tire of playing spoons. And it brings them together. It's all those social interactions that I feel are the most important thing. So video games are very big. And I know that a lot of our kids are playing video games. You're an adult, and I don't know what age you were when you started playing video games.
I don't know.
Because you're-
Elementary school, I think.
Were you?
And
Were you?
Atari.
Wow.
And-
Wow. Oh, Atari. Atari, right, okay. Yeah, you're right, Atari. The nice thing about playing actual manipulative games is you have something concrete and you have so much social interaction that's going on. You get to see people's faces. You really get to learn about different players. One of the things that always comes up in games is how is a person with losing. And that is something that you have to learn how to go through in life. Disappointments are important in life. How we respond to our disappointments are important. It's a developmental thing to go through. And cheating. Cheating does come up. Kristen was just sharing a story. So when we're often playing games, and we do it with different age of children together, and sometimes, the kids have a hard time or they might cheat, and some of the older kids will go, oh, they're not really playing that fair, and we'll go, I know, they're just not, they're still young, they're learning. And then Kristen shared that story, it just happened the other day.
What was that? Oh, no.
Oh no, it was actually it was with Hunter and Sophia.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Capture the flag when I was
Yeah,
rapping.
right.
What happened?
So we're playing capture the flag, and it's mixed age. So we're over here in the field, and there's just because of safety, we had to block off some areas. For example, the garden box. I'm like, hey, you guys, let's not go over there. There's too many sharp corners. And then so Hunter, he's being young.
He's so
not
young.
sure. So he's just running around, and I want to say maybe it's Emery. Emery was like, Crystal, Hunter's over there. He's not supposed to be. And I'm like, I know. And then Sophia just said, hey, he's just not there yet. He's not aware. So then obviously the olders, it's just nice to see that they're helping out and they understand. And that's just so great about the community and these mixed games, not just like the field games, but the math games, the language games. Like you see it throughout, especially when we had the day where we had all the classes open. And then, so I was able to see like the younger kids. So I had like Cash, Emery, I had Chase, and Judah just playing all the same game. And like Blackjack is a nice one because with Blackjack, even though they're just counting to 21, when you get older, you start realizing there's probability. It's like, ooh, do I pull? Do I bust? So then it's just nice that whatever age you are, that game, you could be a part of it. And you can help, and you have the older kids helping the younger kids. So I kind of just sit back and deal, and just kind of watch and explore. And then sometimes, like you said, Mary Jo, we give them advice, but we're not I'm not teaching. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna oh, you bust. Let me take that card back. That's just not part of the game.
And we see it a lot in the field games where the kids will play it differently, and we always say, no, they're just young, they're learning. And then it's so great when you hear the older kids say to another person, it gives them that support. I get the younger children, I always love to see them when they're playing any of the games with us, whether it be a board game, a card game, or a field game, is that they will take that risk to come out and play with older students. And they know that they're supported, they're brought in like everybody else, there's not this difference. And that's how you build your confidence. I feel games allow students to build confidence.
Well, there's so many ports of entry for that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Am I gonna line up and watch how they pick teams and not go out to the fields?
Well, that part
And then am I
still-
gonna go over to the field and then just watch from a far distance? And then am I gonna learn the rules? Or some kids are ready to jump in, but you can I love watching them to see some kids are just incrementally working their way up to it. But there's so many ways that they can watch from a tree, watch whatever.
Some of them will say, I'll go out, but I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah, just go watch.
Yeah, and they might watch for a year, 2 years before they'll enter into the play.
Right. Grayson's still watching. I mean, they can
Yeah.
visit 13 and still just watching.
They're the observers.
Yeah, they can. But
They
there's
don't wanna take the risk.
so many opportunities for them to find their comfort level and their growing edge at the same time.
So we should probably break up into doing some of the games. Jessica has brought some great new games in. Beth, I think, was gonna do Too Many Monkeys.
I might want to do spoons now. We'll see.
Oh, so Too Many Monkeys. I
wanna
mean,
see this
come
one.
on. I am like almost 65 years old. This game is fun. And it's only I'm doing the numbers 1 to 6, and it is a fun game to play. So all of you could get this game for your kids.
Jay, did you put these on Amazon?
Yes.
Do you want to talk
Oh.
about that for a sec?
Yeah. So we have favorite things, RCS favorite things, games, books. It's on the school website, and it is Amazon affiliate account, meaning that you click that link you purchase, school will get a very small percentage of rebate, basically. Amazon Smile is donation you purchase, but even Amazon Smile, not every product we get money from. Also, sometimes money even very, very little or even none. But this affiliate account is that we basically promoting, kind of like we're promoting the products for Amazon. So when you purchase from school, the website favorite things, you click that link you purchase, we will get the percentage. Yeah. Yes.
So if you know of games, then let us know because we're always looking for new games.
Yeah.
On Too Many Monkeys, each person gets 6 cards, and you put them down. I don't even know if you guys can see what I'm doing up here. 5, 6. So everybody has 6 cards, and when it's your turn, and the idea behind this game is you're trying to get your cards to go sequentially from 1 to 6. So if it's my turn, I turn over a card. Oh, I have a 6, so I can put it where a 6 would be, and I pick up this card, which is a wild card. It's a monkey, so I can decide to just place it somewhere. I'm going to place it here. Now I have a 3. I'm still my turn. Get to put the 3 here. Oh my gosh, I got a 2. Whoa, I get to put the 2 in the 2 spot. I picked up it's a 3. I already have a 3, so I put it down as the next player's game. And you're trying to be the first person that gets 1 to 6, and there are different wild cards that mean different things. And then what I didn't learn until just yesterday when I was playing with Owen and a couple other children is that they said it might have been their rule. Because I found with Sleeping Queens, they've been changing the rules. I was playing that game with a bunch of kids today, and I was like, what's going on here?
Caleb Ellis taught me how to play this game, and it is not at all what you just said.
Oh, yeah. But they agree on it, which is so important, is they have an agreed upon, as long as they agree on their rules, great. I think more too than when they can make up their own rules. I mean, it was some adult that made up these rules. Their rules are usually much more creative. So what they told me is once somebody wins, pretend I get all my cards sequentially, that next time they only get 5 cards and then 4, then 3, then 2, because Cash was down to 1 card. And the only way he could win is that had to become a 1, because he only had 1 card. So this is a very fun game. It's very simple, but poor Parker, that boy was going crazy. All he wanted to do was play this game every day. The other one that's very fun that you might have heard from kids is this Rat-a-tat-cat.
Yeah.
And I haven't played this in a while, Beth, so you should be up here playing this one. Once again, they're simple numbers. It's not a lot of counting. You get 4 cards, but this game does have different levels you can play it at. So when you play with kids at school, depending on who they are, they have different ways of playing it. And on this game, you had 4 cards. And what you're trying to do at the end, when you think all your cards are the lowest number, and you don't know, so you haven't seen your cards.
You can only look at them 2 on the end. Right?
Well, it depends on how you play it. Because you can turn over a card, like this is a 2, so I probably want to keep that card. But you're drawing cards. Like this is a swap, so I could swap I might decide just to swap this card with a player. I don't even know what the card is. It was another 2, that's a bad one to swap. I swap it with another player. And once you think you have really low cards, you go rat-tat-cat. And then everybody turns over their cards and sees what their total is. And you hope to goodness that you really did have the lowest cards. So they are adding things up, but it's a strategy, and it's that negotiation that's constantly going on. So this is another big game with the kids, and all the ages are playing these games.
And I like that it's not long, because sometimes
This
like,
one's really fast, and so
Um,
Too Many Monkeys are fast.
yeah, like with my own kids, I always make sure that my kids like it before I bring it to you guys, you know, like new games, and they always want to play a game right before bed. So it's like with that one and Too Many Monkeys, I could play because it only takes 10 minutes. Whereas other games, when it takes like 30, 45 minutes, it kind of cuts into their
Monopoly.
bedtime. Exactly. And it's like you don't want to say no because you enjoy that time with your kids
Yeah.
right before bed.
Mary Jo, would you mind modeling on the carpet?
Oh, is it easier to see? Okay. 7, 8, 9. If you are a competitive person, this is a really fun game. Oh, but then those guys back there. So maybe I just need to change my angle.
Do you want me to play with you?
Oh yeah, I do need someone to play with me.
Play with them?
Yeah, that's
Go
right.
ahead.
So 7, 8, 9 is a competitive game, and you're. Don't we both have a deck?
What?
I can't
Yes.
remember. Yeah, we both have a deck.
I think so. Good look at it.
And we quickly turn over the cards, and we have to add them or subtract them. So the cards all have addition or subtraction on them,
Wait.
and you're trying. I can't remember.
No, don't you start
Yeah,
with
you start
one
with
and then
one.
try to get rid of your cards? Remember, like
Right.
So
Oh, that's it.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Go ahead.
So.
So it's there's
Yeah.
there's a 1 right here, right? And then it says plus or minus 2. So, you know, 1 minus 2
Oh, we
it's not a negative number. So all the answers is not negative. So you know it's gonna have to be the addition one. But the numbers range from 1 to 10 or 11. Okay? So 1 plus 2 would be 3. So I would look in my deck, see if I have a 3.
Oh, that was it. Right.
If I have a 3, whoever goes first, go ahead. You put it down. So it's a 3. And
Okay, and then I'm quickly adding up.
Yes.
Ooh,
1
5.
plus 2 or 3 minus 2. So then you try to put
5.
it down. You try to get rid of your cards. So it's 5 plus 1 or
6.
5 minus 1. Okay. 8 minus 3.
5.
Oh.
So MJ is notorious in this game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because MJ is very
You gotta check
competitive.
that kid's answers.
Yeah. MJ is very competitive. But if they play with someone that's, you know, and they can take a long, you know, other kids are going, okay, let me see, you know, 5 plus 2, 7, oh wait, you know, and then they're running through all their cards. I'm always telling you, well, you might want to organize your cards. That helps to put them in sequential order. We were doing 5 Alive. We've been playing 5 Alive. Where's Barb? And I kept saying to the kids, try putting your cards in like order, sequential order will help you. And they're like, you know, I'm seeing they're going through all these cards. They just aren't there yet. So these are fun games. They're very fun. You don't have to do them.
Yeah, what's that one?
7, 8, 9.
Like 7, 8,
7,
9, like
8,
ATE.
9.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
You put a link to that one?
I like that one.
So, Lindsay was going to do 5 crowns. Lindsay was going to play 5 crowns, if you guys would like to see that. Crystal is going to be playing blackjack. We're big on doing blackjack at school. It's a great game. If you could just play blackjack every night, shoot, they have all the math they need. I really,
Field trip to Vegas.
really enjoy the game. Has anyone played the game Set?
Yeah.
Great. Set's a great one. It's a visual game. It has to do with attributes. You're trying to get 3 cards that either all share the same thing or nobody shares it. Yeah, right. You can't have one person that's left out. Yeah, so this is a great, I really encourage everybody to take a time to look at the Set game. Barb is going to do 5 Alive. We have 4 decks of 5 Alive. It does take a bit longer, but the kids love it. They don't want to stop playing it. Kristen was going to do Sushi Go, and Beth was going to do Too Many Monkeys. Yeah. Are there games? And then we've put out a lot of other games. We do games also for language arts, but they're not quite. Oh, which
Would
one?
you mind showing Spellbound?
Oh. So Spellbound, I was actually doing something very similar today with it today. It was the same thing, but I was just using a deck of other cards. So in my language group today, they were just taking 2 cards. What is it here? They had a P and E, and they were just coming up with words that had P and E in it and spelling the words. So
Uh-oh.
Seriously.
spelled it.
We had a great time playing that game.
Yeah, it is. They're very good. There's so many games you can do with this. You can also do it. What did we just have? PE. PE. You could also do the game of you think of an animal and then describe it. The one word has to start with the P. One word has to start with the E. So it could be, you know, enthusiastic penguin, something like that. There are, and they also give you lots of games you can play. And top 10, I think we have 3 different decks of this. They're all the same. They're just a bunch of alphabet cards, but they have different games inside, and they're always open. Spell Down is just like the game Countdown, and it's the same as this, where you have 2 dice and you roll it. It's an N and an O, and so I'm trying to come up with a word where I can turn over one of my letters, and it uses all those words. So I might do 1, W-O-N, because I think W might be a harder letter to use later. And you're trying to be the first one that gets all your letters flipped. So it's doing spelling, but it's in a fun way.
So we won't be able to do it with kids who haven't learned spelling yet.
Right. Yeah, it is the spelling. Yeah. The other one, Boggle. Boggle's another one that we do use a lot. Most of you do know Boggle, where you have the, Wordle.
Yeah.
We made a Wordle board last year, and they played in Kristen's class. And that's, do you guys all know Wordle? Where you try to come up with a 5-letter word. So the kids play Wordle. We have a big dry erase board that we made into a Wordle board. And Boggle is essentially the same thing. You just have all these letters, and the kids, as long as the letters touch one another. And what I usually do with this Boggle is I write it up really big here, or I do it on individual dry erase boards on their table. I just find this is too small, and I always make sure all the letters are the right way for them, and they come up with different words. So that's something that we've been playing in Lindsay's class and on out, to Crystal and Kristen's class. So there's some words I could do here. Hole, H-O-L-E, or holes, H-O-L-E-S, yes, Y-E-S. If you're into word games, it's fine. I kind of like it. Pardon me?
I like Scrabble. I'm into it.
Yeah, Scrabble.
Scrabble's so
Yeah.
good.
Do
We
you want me to
play-
explain blah 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 at all?
Which one?
Blah blah blah.
blah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Oh, but we can. So unlike Mary Jo, I don't really care for like Scrabble or Boggle because sometimes it's hard for me to see the words or make up the words. So I actually like this language game. Jay put it in the link. It's on Amazon, and I like it because it comes with 3 different levels. So there's like a level 1, level 2, and level 3. It's called blah blah blah. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But my kids know it as word Uno. So if you have you guys played Uno? A lot of people know what Uno is. So it's the same concept where you get 7 cards, and then you're trying to get rid of it. You're trying to be the first person to get rid of it. And let's just start off with the first level. It has words. So with Uno, it's a color and a number. So this one, it has words. So it's fat. So it's just consonant, vowel, consonant. That's what level 1 is. And to get rid of it, if you play this card, F-A-T, right? The next person that goes, they have to pick, their card has to have either an F or an A or a T. So if I have this card, which is fix, F-I-X, I make the kids say the word, like read the word, they say fix, and then they tell me what letter they're using. So they'll say F. And then we go on, F-I-X. So if I had like an I, this one's rip. I could put down this one, I say rip, and I'm using the I. So that's level 1. And then, like I said, I like this one because they're just being able to read, they're working on letters, and it's not like they don't have to come up with the words and spell. Some people, depending on your level, just kind of what works for you. Level 2, the words get a little bit harder as you get up higher. For example, these have like moan, they're 4-letter words. So they're M, and then instead of O and then an A, they do the O-A, the vowels together. So then the next one would be like NEAT, N-E-A-T. So EA would be together. So then it just gets harder and harder. And that's kind of what blah, blah,
It's
blah.
great
is
for
about.
reading.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, and then level 3.
And there are a couple other word games here. Word games they're harder to find. Scrabble's a good one. We have Scrabble at all different levels, but once again, you do have to know how to spell to play it. Scrabble's always been a difficult one.
If you're looking for something pre-reading,
Mhm.
I do Go Fish with letters with my kids for letter recognition.
That's good.
And Teachers Pay Teachers website has Uno letters,
Oh, no, no.
so
Thank you.
That's a good
you're
one.
very welcome.
Alphabet bingo,
Yeah,
which I think is in.
yeah, there is that, and then Zingo has sight words. So
Oh, yeah,
you
you
have
have
to
the sight word bingo.
I use bananagrams too. Sorry, bananagrams.
Oh, bananagrams we have. That's a good one. Right. Pictionary. We do a lot of Pictionary. Yeah, the kids just love charades.
Yeah.
Pictionary. We do that. Apples to apples.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a splat game too, with the fly swatter. Those are
Oh,
sight
right,
words.
right,
There's
yes.
bubbles there as well. Yeah.
So, I'm going to play set, if anyone would like to know. The way set works, for those of you who are not
Are
familiar
we
with
putting
it.
that together, Jay, for business?
Oh.
Oh, you want
So set's made up of different shapes, different colors, and different shading. And you're trying to get 3 cards that can all make a set. And you're playing with, you can play with 4 people at a time. And you're just, as soon as you see a set with the cards that are in front of you, you yell set and put it together, and everybody gets a chance to look at your set, see if it really is the set or not. So it's a very good visual game to play. It's attributes. It's a fun one. You wanna play games, or are you gonna go into business?
I don't have much business.
Let me show you a sec, 'cause we might not have time to play a lot of these games. So let me just shuffle, this isn't even the whole deck. Mommy?
If there is any business, I think people need to.
Yeah, I think so too. So, 1, 2, 3. Start mixed up. Let's go like that. It's like an annoying thing. So you're trying to find 3 cards that are either all the same or all different. And if you don't see anything that makes a set, then you can, let me see, this is a 3, this is a 1, and a 2 purple. Oh, this actually would be a set. This is one of the weird sets. So the set here is that nothing, they don't share anything, and that makes it a set. They're all different numbers, all different shapes, all different shadings, all different colors. That's considered a set. And so that person would take that away, keep them out that people can see, and you just put down more cards. And if you don't see a set, then you can put down more cards. And there's a woman I know who's, she must be about 38 now, and I used to play this with her when she was 5 years old, and she used to beat us all the time when she was 5, and now as a 38-year-old, she really beats us with this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Think about doing the games, and when you come here and you hear, it's quite often, I know you might ask your children, what'd you do for school today? And they're like, oh, we didn't do anything. They are engaged in doing things all day long. And if you know of any great games to recommend to us, just let us know.
I was gonna say we've been playing Spot It. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's a big one,
I love
yeah.
that. And Maddox, you know, I'm always like, no mercy, I'm going, right? And so he's like, oh, trying to find it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, Mom, let's just change the rules. And I'm like, all right, whatever you want to do. And so it's like, I want a spider goes with a spider web, so that's my thing. And I'm like, okay, that's good. And then I was like, shoot. And I was like having trouble, like, figuring, he's like, all right, let's just go back, okay? You know? So we like went through like 2 cards and he was like, oh, wait, this is really hard. And so it was just that, like, he had to think about what he did with that rule that he just made. And so it was fun to see him do that. And I was like, hey, whatever rule you got, I'm down for it. Let's do
It's
it.
great to have that disequilibrium.
Yeah.
That was good to hear, cause I think all of our spotting games are up with,
We have
Crystal
one
and
in our.
Kristen. Yeah, I don't think we have one in Lindsay's class, so we'll have to bring him over here, so he could show that to all the kids.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So it's